Nearly 25 past 6 then, and a Wellingborough triathlete is just back from the European Championships in Israel. You might remember we spoke to Mel Riding before she departed for the Games a couple of weeks ago. She went despite tensions and violence in the area, which did cause some athletes to pull out, and she did rather well. Mel Riding is with me now. Hello, Mel. Now, you wanted to finish in the... we've not got Mel, we just lost her on the phone. We'll try and get her back in a second. She wanted to finish in the top 5, did Mel, but in the top 10 rather, but she did much better than that. You can hear what she's got to say in just a couple of minutes. I know we're having to use Mel's mobile, and you know what mobile phones are like, especially in this weather. You know, our TV signal keeps dropping out in this weather as well because the wind interferes with Freeview, doesn't it? I keep getting things saying no signal received, and it's always at a crucial moment as well. Anyway, Mel Riding is with us now. Hello, Mel. Hello, Mel. No, we can't get... We'll try and sort it out. I do want to talk to her, though. Like I say, she set that target of finishing in the top 10, and she bettered that. She finished in 5th position at the European Championships. So hopefully we can make things work and speak to Mel in just a couple of seconds. I think we might have you now. Hello, Mel.
Hello!
Ah, yes, we found you! That was almost as arduous as your journey to Israel and back, because I was following you on Twitter. It's a long old journey from the UK, isn't it?
It's not necessarily long, it's complicated. It's a complicated country to get in and out of.
So you went, as I said, despite tensions and security fears. Whilst you were there, was everything okay? Did you feel safe?
Once I had actually landed and was in Eilat, I felt perfectly safe. It was just the negotiating, getting in and out of the country that was complicated. How
does that work then? Talk us through the journey from here to Eilat, your destination in Israel.
Well, I had to get a plane from London to Tel Aviv. All of the athletes that were going to Eilat for the championships had to have an extra security pass called a Mokdan. We all had to be... questioned about our reasons for going to Israel and had all sorts of terrorist-related questions.
Wow.
We were told to keep our luggage unlocked. All of the bikes were to be unlocked so that they could check them all. And some people were asked even more questions, and I believe some were even strip-searched.
Wow, God, you'd think it was pretty obvious that you were there to represent Team GB in the European Championships that country was hosting.
You would think so, yeah. But, I mean, with the way it is in the world, I'd rather be subject to lots and lots of questions and many security checks and fear my safety when I'm there. So I didn't mind that much. And
obviously, once you were there in Eilat, it was focus on the sport, really, wasn't it? You set that target of finishing in the top 10. You bettered your own target, didn't you?
I did indeed. I finished 5th and 3rd Brit in my category, so I was very pleased with that.
Pretty impressive. Was the competition tough? I mean, I know you had to cope. I've been reading your blog. You had to cope with searing heat, didn't you?
It was 36 to 40 degrees on average, and in Eilat there's a very strong headwind that blows up and down the valley, and that means that it's this time of year you get a lot of sandstorms. So I was stranded in Tel Aviv for a while trying to get there because the sandstorms were grounding the flights.
Wow. It's a tough course too. I mean, the pictures are amazing on your blog, and I'll give you the website if you want to have a look for yourself in a bit. The pictures are brilliant, lined up on the beach ahead of the swim, but the course was gruelling, wasn't it? I mean, the running was the cycling rather was 10 kilometres, but it was a gradual but constant upward incline into that headwind, wasn't it?
It was, yes. The bike course was 20 kilometres, and it was 10 kilometres out and 10 back, and the course profile made it look like it was quite flat, but in fact it was a 10-kilometre hill all the way up to the turn point and into the headwind, which was quite strong that day.
Yeah, I mean...
bending the palm trees, let's put it that way.
How does it compare to some of the other routes on the European circuit?
It had its own challenges in so much as it was a beach start into the sea, which the sea was quite salty with it being where it is in the world. The beach was very stony, and I was worried about my poor old feet and out all the way up the beach, but in actual fact I didn't even notice that. The layout of the town meant that everything was very spread out, so it was a very long run to transition and a very long run to the road. The road itself was fine, but in a desert, there's not much to look at, so you have to focus on what you're doing, because it can be quite boring when you're just looking at sand.
So not only have you got the running and the cycling and the swimming, you also had long runs in between each of the things.
Yes.
Oh, that's taking the mick. That'd annoy me. I mean, if I'd set myself up for a triathlon, then they added in extra bits like that, Mel, I'm afraid it'd make me moody.
Well, I did think that when I had to run up the beach and round the end of the shops and past the hotel and through the expo. I thought, this is just a bit much, this.
And that counts towards your time, does it?
It does, yes. Oh. So what would normally take me about a minute, just over a minute to get from swim to on my bike, took me nearly 4.
Wow. And you did fantastically well, finished 5th, and everything was going hunky-dory until you finished the finish line and then collapsed.
I left it all out there on the bike course. Number 4 wasn't a GB athlete. The next person behind me wasn't going to let me have that 3rd place easily. And at 500 metres to go, she came past me, so I had a 500-metre sprint to the finish line to get my place back. That's a long way when you're sprinting.
Yeah, I mean, heat. What was wrong with you? Just sheer fatigue?
Exhaustion, yes. Yeah. A couple of very nice gentlemen poured water all over me and gave me several bottles to drink, and I was fine afterwards.
Ah, good. Well, listen, you did fantastically well, and we're all very proud of you. Now you're looking ahead to the 2013 pre-qualification, aren't you, for Team GB? What does that mean?
Well, I've got my fingers crossed. The British Triathlon are currently deciding the criteria for next year. Up until now, if you get into the top 3, that means that you pre-qualify for the Europeans next year, which means I wouldn't need to do the qualifier races. But they haven't yet decided what the criteria is for 2013. I'm told that I'll find out by the end of the week. So my next target is maybe the Europeans, depends if I have to do those qualifiers, but the World qualifiers start in 3 weeks.
And did you manage to ascertain, as I asked you to before you went, why the European Championships were in Israel? I mean, was it just that they didn't look at the map properly, or...?
I don't know. It could be all sorts of things, including political decisions. I have no idea.
Next year's European Championships in Kenya. Now, where are next year's? Are they as exotic?
It's in Turkey next year.
Oh, right. Oh, okay, so still pretty warm.
Quite near. Yeah, quite nearby.
Yeah, quite nearby. Well, listen, congratulations. Keep us updated with the qualification process for Team GB for 2013 and everything by Twitter, and we'll keep everyone listening up to date. If you want to check Mel's blog, it's really good, and you can read more about the European Championships too. The web address is Melanie Riding, that's with a Y, melanieriding.blogspot.co.uk. Cheers, Mel.
Thank you.
Loving life in Northants. BBC Radio Northampton.
It's Joe at drive time, just after 6:30, Wednesday.